Hello there. My name is Kelly Bush. I am the marketing director with the Change Agents Group with RE/MAX Results, and I am joined by one of our fantastic agents, LeAnn Johnson. Hi, LeAnn.
Hi.
Thanks for being with me.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Now, as a team, we know change is hard. In fact, it's why we exist. We are here to help you navigate the real estate process, whether as a buyer, a seller, or as an advocate for a loved one. And we help in so many different ways. But in this video specifically, we want to help sellers navigate a tricky issue, which is having buyers distracted during showings. And we want to help solve the problem. So, LeAnn, as a realtor, how have you learned all these distractions for buyers?
Thousands of showings over 20 years on both the buyer side and hearing it on the seller side. So a lot of experience just hearing it.
I love that. And what's one of my favorite things about you on our team is that you have so much experience with buyers and sellers that you serve every single one of our clients so well because of your experience and your friendliness.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so let's just jump into our discussion. Now, what's the first distraction you want to chat about today?
I think the first distraction that comes up the most is smell.
Okay.
You know, when you're a seller, you don't smell your own house because you're in it. And when you get used to a smell, you smell it. But as a person walking in, something you smell immediately. It's one of those senses you see and then you smell. So, yeah.
Oh. So now what should sellers do about that? How do they even recognize if there is an issue?
A lot of times they won't. So, you kind of want someone to speak honestly and open with you that, hey, when I walked in the door, I smelled this. So, and that's your first impression. So that's where you want to know what's going on. So, and by smells, they can be good smells where it's just overpowering fragrance of some wonderful scent that you absolutely love, but kind of goes, whoa, knocks you out when you walk in the door. And then you can also have the smell of smoke, the smell of pets, the smell of cooking, the smell of, there's so many different smells, and you can't always narrow down what they are, and you can't always get rid of them. And that's where you need someone to advise you on, this is a smell I'm smelling, and take it to the next step and get the advice from someone that can speak to you that way. So
basically, the biggest thing on this one is when your realtor comes in and they're checking out your house and they're going over paperwork and they tell you what they smell and they tell you how to solve it, you just have to listen and do the thing that they tell you to do.
Right, because there's different solutions, and maybe you are masking something that's bigger that maybe we need to take care of. Maybe it just is baking a nice, yummy pan of brownies where it just smells open and homey right away.
Awesome. So they're not necessarily, sometimes they might be a bigger solution, but mostly it's just, small things that can be done to just mitigate whatever small issue has shown up.
Correct. Because you want it to feel like home.
Yeah. Now, while we were preparing for this, one of the things that you mentioned buyers complain about a lot is pets. So can you tell us more about that?
So you need to think of your pets as your family member. So remember, when you leave your family member behind, that family member is not the same family member that you think it is. It doesn't behave the same without you. So over the years, believe it or not, there's a lot of people that are afraid of one or the other. There's a lot of people that are afraid of dogs. There's a lot of people that are afraid of cats. There's a lot of people afraid of just all animals in general.
Mm-hmm.
So it's best to remember that they're your family and you want to keep them safe as a seller. So bring them with you or have them in a room. But that's harder with a dog because then the dog wants to wants to say hello. And so you hear a lot of barking, which can be very distracting. Mm-hmm. So you just kind of want to take that into consideration. Now, there are plenty of pets over the years that have been very nonchalant and very relaxed, and you need to know your pet, but then also know that your pet can act different when you're not there. And you can also have dogs that will attack the door immediately and be barking where people won't even want to walk in, and that has happened over the years. And then with cats, I had a wonderful experience one time with Siamese cats where when you have two, they actually, one will guide you through the house and one will follow. And if you deviate, they might attack. So that's not the welcoming feeling you want when you have someone wanting to buy your home.
No one wants to be in the middle of Lady and the Tramp.
No.
So I think what you're saying is kind of think of them like you would, you'd bring your kids along with you during a showing. Probably the best choice is to bring your pet along unless it's not possible, and then you can talk to your realtor about other possible solutions. But get them out with you, go for a walk, bring them to doggy daycare or whatever that might be.
Yep, rely on your neighbor or a really good friend that doesn't mind helping out too.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, and sometimes the realtor's willing to work with you too.
And I'm sure that's you. I'm sure you've done that.
I'm sure I have. So yes.
That's great. I know for us, we would take our dog out, and I remember for when we sold and we had our home inspection, our dog came to the office with me, and so that was perfect because everybody in the office got to spend time with our dog and loving on him, and then he didn't get in the way of the home inspector.
That's right. That's one of the ways to handle it, and not everyone can do that, but when you can, or you can get a special exception, like bring your kids to work day, it's a great solution.
Fantastic. Now, LeAnn, tell us another complaint that buyers have when they are on showings.
I hear a lot of people complain about too much stuff. And that is really a delicate situation because I, as you see, love stuff. So stuff makes it feel homey to some people. But right now you're trying to think of who else is going to want to live here. So when there's a lot of things everywhere, people get overwhelmed by what they're seeing, and then they want to not see themselves there, or they get too discouraged, like, I don't even know where to begin. So it kind of just distracts and takes away from the house.
So what's your recommendation on how to handle the clutter situation?
To take it room by room and just kind of pack up some of that extra stuff that you don't need to have around. Especially the things that you're worried that, hey, what if someone might bump it and break it? That'll happen. So think of it as you're moving anyway. So this is kind of your pre-packing. And you're pre-packing when you're not exhausted and you're excited and you're taking very good care of those extra special things.
Yes. And it's probably a good excuse to get rid of stuff that you actually don't want.
Right. Yep. Exactly. Conquer those piles.
Yes. Let's do that. So we get less when you're actually moving. Let's do that.
Yes.
Now, you also mentioned to me that lighting can be distracting. Now, how so?
Well, here in Minnesota, we have a lot of dark months, and we are showing homes a lot in the winter, where people think we're not showing in the winter season. But and as a matter of fact, spring market starts about February 1st-ish, depending upon when the Super Bowl hits. So that's kind of still dark. It's not very light and bright like this beautiful June days where you don't have to worry about it as much because you have the natural light coming in. So to have your lights on, to have lights on timers, to think about, this basement is really dark and no one can see what's going on down here, add an extra light in the basement if it's an unfinished area that doesn't have anything.
These are super simple ways to just make it not distracting. And it also highlights really awesome things about your house too.
Yes. And remember, in December, we don't have a lot of daylight. So crucial in December. And one of my very first buyers, way back when, we loved a house in the dark pretty much because we had 2 lights to look at a house. It was a cute little 1.5 story, and we thought there was this beautiful fireplace in the basement. We go for a second showing the next day during the day because we thought, maybe we should see what it looks like. It was an electric, non-usable fireplace in the basement. So.
And this is why you have a realtor, because they tell you these things and they help you process and think about a second showing.
Mm-hmm. We still laugh about it to this day.
Oh my goodness. Now, as I look around my room and my home, which you can't see right now from where I'm sitting, but I've got photographs of family and our kids, and my guess is those can be pretty distracting for buyers.
Oh, yes. People love to look at who lives there. Who are these people selling? Where are they going? And why are they moving? And you don't want them doing that when they're walking through your house. You want them going, I love this space. I can see myself here. So when you have all these photos up, they get distracted. A few here and there, that's fine. It is really hard to live in a home without all those great photos, but they do distract and take away.
Now, in another video, our transaction coordinator and realtor Kelly Kruger mentioned that you can either put some decorative cardstock in frames or wrapping paper. What other suggestions do you have besides just taking a few of them off the wall?
There you go. Well, that is the best way to do it, to just take them up or take them off the wall if you're in limited time, or if you do have that time. Kelly's suggestion is great because it still keeps, you don't see then all your nail holes. So
yeah,
it's very smart. The other solutions to do would just be put a bigger picture over that and just make it seem bigger with a much bigger generic picture.
Nice, yeah. Just you can move stuff around, right? From different rooms to different places. Because I think we all have that room in our basement that has the pictures that we don't actually use all the time. That may be a good time to start shopping in the closet. Right,
shop in the closet. And that also might be a good time for you to go, do I really want to take this to the next place?
Right. Just like we were talking about with the clutter, let's eliminate some of the piles that we have around the house.
Yeah.
Now, exactly. I think the last complaint that you wanted to chat about today was related to weather. What does that have things going on with it?
So as a seller, you're in your wonderful, comfortable home, and you don't realize that people are looking out in 90-degree heat and 90-degree humidity, or a blizzard. You're not really thinking that they've seen multiple homes. And so they are experiencing weather as well as looking at your house. So the big things are make it nice and cool if you have air conditioning. Keep it cool in the summer, cooler than you usually do, at least just for that showing. So when you walk in, you go, so refreshing. Like, the air conditioner works.
Mm-hmm.
Or in the winter, have it warm and inviting, and then remember those stairs. If you have a lot of stairs or even just one, they get slippery fast with ice and snow. And then you have the leaves and the dirt and all the other things in spring and fall that happen. So it's best to remember that you're going to be tracking in some, so a little rug or a little catch-all area that everyone can be respectful is a really great idea.
Awesome. So, I mean, you're going to go around, you're going to do some deep cleaning of your house anyway before the showing. So just making sure that you think about outside as well as inside. So when you're prepping and then, when you're turning on lights so everybody can see everything, just make sure you head outside and go, okay, what does it look like out here before I leave?
Exactly. And that is, it's key. You have to think about, how are we going to make people comfortable in our home without me being here? And lights on, a clear path in, music playing is always very welcoming. It relaxes everybody because it's not so stiff and quiet. Just little things can make showing go way better than your competition.
It's good. That's all good stuff. So much so. Well, thank you, LeAnn, for sharing all those tidbits from your experience. I love it. Yes. I think it'll be super helpful. Now, if somebody is watching this and because they're thinking about selling their house and they're ready to take the plunge, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
The best way to get in contact would be to call. So my cell phone number is 612-232-9006, or you can text and leave a message and I will get back to you. Otherwise, you can certainly leave an email at thechangeagents.net.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you again. And thank you for watching. We hope that this helped you identify potential issues when buyers come through your house, but most importantly, how to solve them. And that's why we're here. That's why we have people like LeAnn. We want to help you through this process in all the different ways. Now, if you have any questions about this video, you can always get in touch with LeAnn, or you can comment below. And we'd love to hear what other topics you want us to cover. So you can let LeAnn know. You can comment in that comment section. and we will figure out the best way to respond as we continue to make videos to help you through the real estate process. Now, until next time, remember, change is hard, but we can help.
That's right.